think what we might have going on here is we're having a buildup on this plate here. Magnetic flux buildup. When I have the magnet there for a prolonged period of time, it's momentarily becoming magnetized. Oops, gosh. Anyway, it's the last time I'm going to demonstrate this. As you'll see now, with a little bit of spacer there, the screw will no longer stick. What all I have here is a real thin, I do mean really thin layer of spacer here. It's about 1/16 of an inch. So by the time you add a full 1/4 of an inch spacing, which is basically 3 of these, then you have absolutely no magnetic attraction on the bottom. We'll do this again here. Put that right there. Put down the camera a little bit. Okay. Now watch. See. Just a little bit of attraction to it. Ooh, a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Anyway, it's very, very, very little. Basically, most all of the magnetic attraction is gone. For those of you who may not be familiar with these magnets, this is considered the world's most powerful permanent magnet that we have. These are neodymium magnets. This is an N42. They go up to N52, and I think I understand now they have them even more powerful than this. Of course, the bigger in size they get, the more powerful they get. But as far as technology goes, the neodymium magnets are the strongest we have now in regards to a permanent magnet. Permanent magnet means no outside source, which means it's not an electric magnet. It's just a magnet all by itself. Okay. What I'm doing here is I'm going to be building a stator here using this MuMetal. I don't believe it's pure, but I got it out of a VCR machine. So I've already drilled lines on it. And when you get 2 plates of this, I'm going to double this up. When I do 2 plates of this MuMetal with a 1/4 of an inch spacing, the flux or magnetic field that will penetrate this should be almost absolute 0. Really, really close. More than enough to suffice for what we're doing here. For those, if somebody's just joining and you have not a clue what's going on, we're building basically a stator that acts like a shotgun or a gun or rifle. And it's got a barrel on it, and the barrel directs the bullet. And in this case, we're going to be putting a magnet inside of a metal box that acts like a barrel. And one side of the end will be wide open, where the magnetic energy or flux or magnetic field will come out of the end of it. And that's how we aim the magnetic field, just like aiming a gun, except there's no projectile in this case, unlike a gun, which has a projectile. So the only thing that's going to come out of this so-called gun, or stator, if you will, it's going to be the magnetic field that's going to jet out from the side. I already have one built here, but it's not done with MuMetal. I'll show you what that looks like. It's right here. Let's see here. Okay. As you can see, I built a metal box all the way around, 5 sides. The 6th side is open. And you'll see there's a magnet back in there, another neodymium magnet back up in there. And it's stuck down there about almost a full inch from the front. And what it does is that it focuses that magnetic field out this way. So we have a very narrow, if I can get that in front of the lens correctly, we have a very narrow field of flux rather than it being like that. If I didn't have this metal box around it, shielding the magnet, the flux would be going straight out and around like that. So when I do it this way, the metal flux is restricted, or we're focusing it. Just like focusing a flashlight or a beam on a headlight. We're focusing the magnetic flux or the magnetic field so it's got a focus, just like a headlight on a car. So that's all I'm doing here with this box. We're focusing it. And I'm not going to get into a lot of explanation why. You can learn more about this in my other videos. But I'm going to use the focus of this so it will focus on another magnet on a wheel. And as this magnet, this is another magnet, and as this magnet comes towards this, it will accelerate. But as this magnet goes over top, as it accelerates, it goes over top, it'll keep on going. And then on the back side, there's very little magnetism on the back side. So the attraction on the front is far greater than the attraction on the back. Newton's third law, or is it Murphy? I got confused. Anyway, there's the third law of attraction says that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. But because the way I built this, the attraction on the front is far greater than the attraction on the backside. So it's not equal. It's unequal. So that third law of attraction that says for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction is untrue. So the energy that we gain here that's coming down this way, more energy is gained here than the counteraction here. So yes, there's some counter pull that goes back, but it's nowhere near as much counter pull as there is attraction, which means we have a net gain. I don't know what the percentage of net gain is. It could be 20, 30, 40. I know it's a lot because the counter pull on this, which is called in this industry, is called a sticky spot. And there's no sticky spot. None, zero. My design has completely eliminated the infamous sticky spot that everybody who plays with magnets trying to make some kind of magnetic motor run all have sticky spots. Mine has zero, absolutely no sticky spot. Okay, so by the way, this channel has been shadow banned. I don't know who's going to see this. It's just a matter of record. Maybe eventually some people will see it, and maybe it'll stay up for years and years, long after I'm dead and gone, so that people can see how this is done. And eventually I'll have a video up showing you how all this works and show you the wheel turning. My last couple of channels got shut down. I started another one called Free Magnetic Energy originally, now Free Magnetic Energy 2. And then I also have a James Roney Stator channel as well. Turns out apparently that's been shadow banned too. I haven't been over on that channel on YouTube in years, 4 years to be exact. I forgot all about it. And I just went over there tonight and discovered, well, the YouTube is shadow banned that. Shadow ban is where the people who follow a channel don't ever receive notifications of the videos posted. Same thing's happened to me now on Facebook. I have nearly 12,000 followers. Out of the 12,000 followers, only about maybe 15 people get notified of my videos. I'm not even sure. I mean, the way they have to find them is that they have to go look. I don't think they're getting any notices at all. I haven't really done a survey on that. Okay, so here we go. Other magnet channels are not being targeted, although there's one magnet channel I think is being targeted, and that's I think magnetic motion or motion magnetics. I forgot. A really awesome guy. I can't remember his name. So sorry. He's making incredible, awesome videos, and he's just showing you, how all this is done, how it might be done, and he's finally experimenting with the shielding technique that I've been advocating for years. I wish he had done it sooner, but he hasn't. Now he's about ready to do it. And he should get his Pernev, however you pronounce it. I've never figured out how to pronounce that. But it's a magnetic motor, and hopefully he'll get his up running soon. Okay, this is what's going on. I was kind of buying a little time, waiting for some other people to join us, but nobody's joining us. You see, this is interesting. I've been on here now 16 minutes, just kind of babbling and talking and show and tell. And right now, I'm doing a live broadcast to approximately almost 12,000. I repeat that number, 12,000 subscribers. And of the 12,000 people, there's not a single one that has been notified of this transmission. None. So right now I have absolutely nobody watching, which is fine. So I showed you, I've been shadow banned. Alrighty. In the past, when I would make these videos and put them up, and people would get notified and people would flock to them pretty darn quick and then start leaving their comments. Now nobody flocks to them, and oh, somebody just joined me? Who's this? Can't read, I don't have my glasses on. Oh, whoever it was just left. Okay, so let's do this here. Let me show you the dimensions of this. Okay. To do this with a 2-inch by 1-inch by 1/4-inch magnet, and by the way, the forces of these little tiny magnets are puny. They're very tiny. And we get places up here on YouTube we're playing with magnets that are so big and so powerful that it will literally sever your arm. It will sever your leg or your foot. I'm not playing with anything big like that. Okay, I'm just playing with these little toy magnets that are very innocent. Okay, so what this is here, dimension-wise, I'm doing in inches instead of millimeters. I'm old school. This should be 6 inches across, but this plate wasn't quite wide enough, so I'm working with 5 3/4 inches. Okay, and this way it's going to be 4.5 inches. Okay, now what I've done here is I've made the marks here where I have to score it, and this will be turned into a box. Okay, so hopefully if you got something to score it with, which I'm going to use a device that's used to chisel up old tiles or tile cement. So all I'm going to do here is just score this. First of all, I need to cut this. Let me cut this off of here. Okay. Okay. And now we'll take this and we'll score it. You need something soft. If you don't have something soft under it, it's not going to score very well. Okay. Let's see here. And don't make your tolerances too tight, otherwise you won't be able to get your spacers in there. You see how it's automatically just bending that up really nice? Okay. This makes it easy to bend it into a box and get nice clean corners. Okay. Okay. Next, we have to cut this in such a way so we can fold it into a box. And you want to make sure you don't accidentally cut past where you're supposed to cut. But you can see what I've got here so far. Okay. Alright, now let's see here. Now the magnet goes in here like this. Okay, so this end is going to be able to fold up. So I have to cut it here, 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 and here. Okay. Do your best to keep your line straight too. It's a little tough. So you might have to fight it a little bit. Do not cut past your score lines. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, all we're going to do here, remember this is very sharp, so you can cut yourself real easy. So all we're going to do here, I want to take, because I scored it right here, it makes this easy to bend. Just bend this up. There, bend this back first. There. Bend this up. Okay. Okay. It looks like I didn't cut that down far enough. Yeah, I did. Okay. Okay, when you use the pliers, it allows you to get a square corner. You want to try to get your corners as clean as possible, especially when you do this big bend here. I have to do this with my thumb here first. Okay. And then on the other one. Okay, see how it's turning into a box? Okay. Now we need to cut off the excess that we don't need. Okay. I'll cut this in half. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, because I scored this, it'll allow me to fold these corners over real easy. Just fold them over. Well, that's tough. I think I'm going to bring this back out and do it with some pliers. Get a nice clean bend. Each time you build one of these, it gets a little easier and a little easier. You get better and better at it. My first one was pretty sloppy, but it worked really nice. Okay, and then last here. Okay, do a little bit more. Okay. Okay. Now we'll bend this back up. Oh, by the way, these lips, this long inner piece right here, right there, this thin one, just be sure that's on the inside. I wouldn't leave that on the outside. I always tuck it away inside. That makes things a little bit tidier, a little bit cleaner. Okay, this is where the tricky part comes in without getting cut. This stuff was much thicker. It'd be hard to do this by hand without, putting it in a vise. Okay. Now these pieces are starting to protrude inwards too much, so I got to push these back a little bit. So they're spring-loaded backwards. Okay, there we go. You'll see what I mean when you try to put one of these together yourself. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, now what we have here is we have a box. We have a box where when I put the 2" by 1" by 1/4" neodymium magnet in here, it will fit in here perfectly with a 1/4" space and all the way around it. And because this stuff kicks butt the way it does, I'll only have to build one more box, and we're not going to put any batteries in the back. I use the batteries because, when you're just doing things on the fly, you just grab whatever you can grab in your house and just see what works. And then the alkaline batteries, which were dead, just fit the job at the time. It just did a perfect job. Okay, so the next thing I need to do now is secure this box so it doesn't keep flexing and moving around. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some metal tape around it. See, there you go. It looks really nice. Now, this is probably one of the better boxes I've ever built. That's really sweet looking. This is going to be nice. Going to do a nice job. Okay, let me get some metal tape here. Let's see here. Yeah, that'll be about enough. This metal tape I'm using is same tape that's used for air conditioning systems. Okay. Here we go. You want to make sure this is tight, so your boxes, these lids, these ends are folded over nice and tight to keep any flux from leaking out of the box. Okay, make sure that's down nice and tight, that flap. Okay. Always try to fold these ends on the end down first, so the rest of it will hold this down. Oops. Yeah, this is not supposed to look pretty, although it isn't too shabby. Okay. Okay, a bit more tape to seal that rest of that. And I'll leave a little extra of the edge so I can fold this in to smooth out those sharp edges so I don't cut myself. Ideally, making one of these in a machine shop would be the way to go, and using a lot thicker MuMetal. Like I said earlier, I don't think this is pure MuMetal. Someone else suggested that to me, and I bet you they're right. But get higher quality, purchasing it rather than stripping a VCR. This came out of a VCR. Trouble is, when using metal tape, it's very unforgiving. It doesn't like to be readjusted much for course correction. There we go. Now that's doing the trick. Okay. There we go. I can fold these ends over. There you go. This is one of the better boxes I've ever built. But like I said, a machine shop's the way to do this. But it serves the purpose for what we're doing. Okay, now, 1/4 inch spacing all the way around. Now what I've done is that I only have so many of these plastic spacers, so I cut up a whole bunch of these. They're mat board. And apparently when you cut up 3 of these, it's also used for mounting photographs. When you glue a photograph onto the board. When you mount 3 of these, squeeze 3 of these together, that's 1/4 inch. I don't know what that is in millimeters. But anyway, I'm going to take, remember now, almost forgot, we have to remember the magnet cannot touch anywhere on the box, which means we can't have the magnet touching along the back side. On the inside of the box, we can't have it touching. So even on the back side, we have to make sure we put insulation down. So I've got some of those cut right here. So this is too wide. Yeah, those are too wide. Okay. Let me do this first and put these 3 in here first. Okay. Then that's 2. Okay. Need 1 more. There we go. That's 3. Okay. I don't know if you can see that or not, but anyway, Now the best time to put in the magnet is now. Ah, dang it. Okay. Because then as you pack the, what do you call it, the spacers in there, the magnet will hold them in place. So now the magnet's going to jerk out of your hand because of the metal. So just squeeze the magnet really hard and just put it in there really carefully. Okay. Now I gotta get that magnet to stick to the other side, get it to move. There we go. The rest of this is pretty straightforward. Ah, dang it. Ow. Okay. Get spacers on top. Now in the past I never cared about making both sides of the stator perfect. I only needed one good side. But if we make the stator perfect, then both sides can be used, and that way you can switch polarities if you want to do north or versus south. I also want to let you know, everything I do is in attraction mode. I don't use any other mode. I don't use repulsion. I found that it's a pain in the ass and the attraction works better. Okay. That's pretty good right there. Now let me put some here on the back side. On this side, remember, we have to do it on the sides too. Can't have this touching, the magnet touching at all. Okay, that's too wide. Actually, I'm going to use that and slip that down in there too. One more looks like it'll fit in there. There we go. Now it's getting snug. Okay, now I gotta cut some of these up for the ends here. There we go. Okay. Do one more. The further we get this magnet away from the wall of this MuMetal, the better the MuMetal works. But we only need to get it so far away, so we don't have to do it very much. A quarter of an inch or so all the way around seems to be ample. If we had a wood shop and computer, we can map this out and maybe do just a little bit more than a quarter of an inch and a little bit thicker MuMetal, and maybe we wouldn't have to build two boxes. Okay, let's see here. Now I gotta get this magnet in here pushed over the other end. Gosh, that's hard to do. There we go. Okay. And a few more of these spacers, then we're done. That's 4 of these. That's a little bit more than a quarter of an inch. But apparently I built the box a little extra big. So we'll use the extra spacer here. Remember, because doing this the way I'm doing it, it's not real precision. So I can only get so close. There we go. That's about done it. See if I can squeeze in one here to make that a little bit tighter. And the magnet won't fall out because the magnet's stuck in there being attracted to the MuMetal. But basically that's it. Now you see what's going on here? I don't know if that's a very good shot or not. See, there's the magnet in there. It's recessed in there about an inch. It's about what we want. It's about an inch. And that magnet is evenly spaced 1/4 of an inch away from this metal box all the way around. So, and what'll happen is I'll build this box one more time and do one more layer all the way around it, including back here equally with 1/4 of an inch space. Put spacers in all the way around all over again, and then we'll have 2 layers. And then we should have 0 attraction on the back. Now I'm sure there's a little bit of attraction going on right now. Let me try it with the screw I had here. Where is that screw? Here it is. Okay. There's probably a little bit of traction here. Yeah, there's a little bit of traction there. Not much, but there's a little bit there. You can feel it. So by the time I build one more box around this, there should be almost 0 attraction. So getting back to my point, because the way we have built this now, we don't have the flux pouring out. See, the magnet flux loops out. It wants to loop around. If I didn't have this shield in, it'd be just looping around like this. And then the backside loop around like that. So because I've built this box, I'm shaping the field. So we're focusing this field to come out in a more narrow area. And that basically, like I said, like the headlight of a car, you know, we're focusing the light, we're focusing the magnetic field. So when something comes at it, it will see this area, but it won't see anything on the top, and it won't see anything on the back. The only thing it's going to see is the actual metal attraction, a magnet to metal, versus magnet to magnet on the front. And that's really the magic bullet behind the design. And then you build 4 of these guys, and then I'll show you the next step. You know, when I get to that, I'll be putting these around a wheel, a bicycle wheel at that, and then the way I configure these and configure the magnets on the wheel causes the wheel to spin. I mean, it really does. But I've got to get back to getting it to work with 4 of these. I had 2 of them on there, but the wheel would move limitedly, and it would eventually stop because 2 stators was just not enough. And then life took me away, and I didn't get back to this, and now I'm back, and we'll finish this. I apologize. So, not including all the sea of hateful people who have left all kinds of rude, crude, and mean messages all underneath my videos. I don't know why they do that. You know, nothing's, no trickery here. It's all real. Okay, that's it. That's how I build my stators. I'm supposed to do this tomorrow night live at 9 o'clock, but I can see with my shadow ban and my channel's dead here, so nobody's ever going to see this, to be here live. Right now, YouTube shows absolutely nobody's here. Absolutely nobody. Nobody out of nearly 12,000 people were never ever notified of this live transmission. So anyway, actually, here's somebody who says, make one big one 25 feet and it's disappearing. Great. YouTube's not allowing those messages that somebody just sent me to stay up on the screen, so I couldn't read them. I'll see them again at a later date. Or if it's a question, ask it again. I'll look closer when you ask it. Type in your question again. Is there a way to bring your question back up? No. Oh, yes, here we go. Make the big one 25-foot bunch of stators 25 foot. You nuts? Maybe there's a typo. Maybe you meant to make 25 stators. And let's see what's this other message here. And, oh, let me hear some other messages here. 11 people are watching. Well, YouTube shows there's nobody watching on my end. Okay. Yeah, it's like a Ferris wheel. Hi, Sterling. Good to see you, buddy. But that's it. I've got to make one more box around that box, and then I got to do this all over again 3 times. And then I've got to mount these. Let me ask, can we, hang on, your message is disappearing. Can we use rubber block out of the other pole of the magnet. You can use rubber for spacers. It doesn't make any difference how we space it. You just can't use metal. You can't use any ferrite metals. And I strongly would not use copper, brass, or aluminum. Just, paper, wood, things like that. Um, uh, Gang of Four says, what are you making? I'm making a stator. Too much to go into right now. You just have to back the video up on replay. What I'm doing is I'm making a motor that runs on its own called magnet motors. I don't have it up and running, but I'm pretty sure I should be able to get one up and running. If I can't, I give up. I'm done. But I believe this is going to work because preliminary test reveals or indicates that it should work just fine. Who else has got a question here? YouTube is permanently erased. Oh, here we go. Someone came out. My spacers are made out of, see, what's this? Hey, Dennis. My spacers are made out of, Dennis asked, what are your spacers made out of? I use paper, plastic, wood, anything that's non-magnetic. And in this case, I'm using thick cardboard like Craig said. So, but isn't that sad, out of some 14 or 12,000 people? I mean, how did you all even know I was here? I mean, did you all get a notice, or are you just surfing around on YouTube and you ran into me? That should be interesting because I have 12,000 followers. There's only like, what, 11 or 12 of you here? So I don't think any of you got here through being notified, because I've been shadow banned. Craig says, I love magnets. Have many neodymium magnets. Some are so large as to be dangerous. Yeah, they get really dangerous. Oh, you got a notice, Scott says. You got a notice. Awesome. Cinero says she was notified, or he was notified. And Sterling says happenstance. And another person said they were notified. Interesting. So apparently some of you are getting notified, but a very, very few of you are getting notified out of some 12,000 people. I mean, there should be a couple hundred here, at least maybe, 50 or more. Tex, I am subscribed and your live feed popped up on my feed. Thanks, Tex. So, okay, well, apparently some people are being notified. So, I'll continue my crusade here, and I'll get this up and running. I'm going to tell you all one thing. If, and I'm emphasizing the word if I succeed at this venture, the moment I succeed, the moment it goes up on YouTube, it's probably going to get a lot of views, and eventually YouTube is going to take it down. So I advise you all to copy it fast before it gets taken down. Who's what? Craig says, I only subscribed a month ago and have been getting all of your notifications since subscribing. Cool. So maybe there's some hope yet. Okay. I want to sign off here if there's no other questions here. I might actually be here tomorrow night at 9 o'clock like I thought I was going to be. And so looks like now I can be. So maybe I'll just do this all over again tomorrow night. It's a way to generate interest and show what's going on, because if I really have stumbled in on something, it's important that this information becomes public. And that's my goal. I'm not going to make any money off of this. I'm not even going to try. Patent office is not even taking patents on stuff like this. So this is bigger than me and all of us put together. Okay, that's it. I'm going to leave here. Thank you guys for joining me. This was pretty cool, even if it is only a handful of us. I think I've start somewhere. All right, that's it. I'm gone. Thank you guys. I probably will be here tomorrow night at 9 o'clock doing this all over again. Take care, and thank you. It's time here. I'm on the East Coast. It's 12:07 on the Eastern Standard Time. See you tomorrow night, guys, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh. Okay, when I explain, wait a minute. Somebody's asking last minute question. Hang on. Well, somebody said, can I explain it? Everything's in attraction. The question disappeared. Everything's in attraction mode. Everything I'm doing is in attraction mode. Okay? All right, guys. I'll be back here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. sharp Eastern Standard Time. Take care. And thank you.